All right, here we go. So we are going to be watching Carl Frampton and Jamel Herring. So right now we're going to be watching the undercard. And so let's get into the settings right now. Okay, so we are going to set up Rondon. Second fighter set up. Okay. Let's move him over. Well, this is already a very quick fight. Rondon is down. Wow. Oh, huge knockout. That was a huge, huge knockout. Wow. Damn. Well, that's one way to make a statement in the first round. Damn. So that fight was over very quick. My God. He just went down so fast. That was brutal. That was brutal. I did not expect to see that. Man, that was a very fast fight. I mean, clearly this was just a gimme fight. I mean, clearly. I mean, he just got crushed. Crushed. Yeah, I imagine he'd be slow to get to his feet. I mean, that was like. Yeah, that was a really bad idea for him to start swinging again after he just got knocked down, to start swinging immediately. And then he just got clipped again. So, not the smartest move. I mean, clearly this was kind of like they put in a guy that was going to be a punching bag. I get it. I get it. So, well, that's good. Let's get through this undercard. Let's get through this undercard. So, That was so quick. Yeah. That was a pretty easy fight for him, obviously. I mean, the that lead left was just wide open and just right on the chin, man. Wow. Clearly, that was a kind of a gimme fight for sure. I mean, Rondon is swinging like he doesn't even know what he's doing. So, well, oh well. Let's see who's next. I believe the card's going to be a little bit shorter. Um, I believe someone was a healthy scratch due to having positive for COVID. So that's good. This card will be even shorter now. What is this music they're playing right now? Man, this seems like a really low budget effort right now on their part. Very low budget effort. This looks pretty bad. Um, I expected a little bit better. I mean, they got this music going on and everything. It's just like, uh, I don't know why they're playing that over the dude that's talking who just won. So, oh my god, we get it, we get it. I mean, I good for the kid, you know. Early doors is right, man. It's about uber early doors. No one wants. I think there's a few people in that weight class that wouldn't mind fighting him for sure. You know, I'm sure he would. I'm sure there's a bunch of people that would love to fight this guy. I mean, probably good stage for him, right? You know, get some eyes on the kid. Yeah, you think that was a little convincing? He just knocked out the dude in about 30 seconds. No biggie. No biggie. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure that's exactly what people are thinking right now. So let's get moving now. Let's. This card's gonna get moving. We're gonna be getting now, moving on to the next fight, which I believe this fight got scrapped due to COVID, a positive COVID test. So So, next fight, we had super welterweight. Now we're going to. It was supposed to be a super lightweight fight. I don't believe that's going to be happening. I think they are going to be moving to the next fight, which will be a welterweight fight. So I'm hoping that this will be fairly close, fairly quick fight. We can move on to main event hopefully soon. Okay, here we go. Oh, this is a fill-in fight. This will be interesting. I'm sure this is not planned. So let's see how they go about this one. So they're both pretty young guys. I'm sure this is like their first major fight right now. Yeah, that was pretty quick. You could say so. Okay, we get it, man. Like the reason you're doing this is not because you just, you know. Yeah. All right. All right. Not too many Indian boxers that you see frequently. That's for sure. That'll be kind of a little change of pace. It's interesting. I'm kind of intrigued. Kind of intrigued by everything. You never know with young guys. Young guys that you've never heard of could be really exciting. This could be a fun. I'm not expecting like this to be incredible, but it could be a fun fight. You know. I don't know how. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to say his name. Um. Obviously, he's probably going to be a little bit favored in this fight. Him being in his home country. So. These ring entrances with this huge gate that they have with the screen on it. It's kind of not bad. But boy, oh boy, does it seem empty in there. No sound whatsoever. Very, very quiet in there. Which you can kind of expect. So let's see how this plays out. We now have kind of two no-name guys, but hey, you know, it's the undercard. It could be fun. Could be some guys that just want to go in there and just scrap. That's always, you know. I wonder how many rounds this is going to be. I bet you this will be like a 6-rounder maybe. So, filler fight, obviously. Or I believe this was patched in very late. Yeah. This guy's 2-1. He's 2-1. So, this this is a definite filler fight right now. Oh man, that's funny. Oh well, I think we're gonna see a little flailing in this. Whoa. Blue Sheet looks very fit in comparison to Suraj. I think I know how this is gonna go. I think the local guy is gonna just pound this dude from India. Wow, he looks huge in comparison. All right. Yeah, 4-rounder. Right now we have Belushi kind of being the aggressor on the front foot. Suraj is he's moving well, but his hands are really low. He's just looking to eat something big. And I think he's going to, yeah. I don't think this is even going to go 4 rounds right now. I don't think this is going to go 4 rounds. Yeah, Suraj does not look like a great boxer. Belushi looks more like a pretty sharp boxer. Maybe not the best, but he clearly looks much more skilled. Suraj is kind of flailing, but every time he throws, he's off balance. And yeah. I think this is kind of a little setup fight. Do you like how Belushi's kind of using his lead left to kind of feel out, use it as a rangefinder, but also throwing some really nice sharp jabs to the stomach. Ooh, that's a nice little left hook. Nice little 1-2. Another little 1-2. And Suraj is just not, I mean, he doesn't look like he has much power. He's a little bit, yeah, he's really, he's kind of, and not great. Not great at all. Belushi looks like a totally different weight class compared to this guy. And right now, yeah, his punches look very sloppy right now from Suraj. This is clearly a filler fight. And Belushi's now landing some nice 1 and 2s, using that jab. Suraj is kind of trying to move a little bit, but I mean, his coordination is not great, and he swings pretty wild and gets off balance. So, and he's just, I mean, he doesn't even throw his punches properly. Oh, he took a monster left hook from Belushi. Belushi clearly looking like the better fighter right now. So, for round 1, I think that's a pretty clear one. Love how they're trying to sell this. Oh, it was entertaining. I don't know about that. Not a great start. Not great. So let's see how round 2 goes. Yeah, that was very messy. Very messy round. Not great. Not great. Belushi doing a lot better work to the body right now, but Siraj even coming back, it landing a few things. Not really much power behind it, but he's trying, leaving himself wide open. So, effort over art. That's a really kind way. I've never heard that one before. Effort over art. Never heard that before. Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I'm curious to see how this how they're gonna score this. Now, obviously, the local guy who's Belushi is probably gonna get a little bit favored, but he's getting tagged. Actually, he's getting tagged quite a bit. So I think right now, Belushi's looks like the more polished fighter, but Siraj is actually, trying to give it a go. I mean, he's wildly throwing his punches, but he's landing a lot more. Yeah, his technique's pretty awful, but he's landing really well against Belushi. Oh, Siraj took a huge left hook again. Belushi just he's landing well. He's doing good work. He's just taking a lot of shots. And now they're kind of scrapping it out, which I like. I mean, Siraj is, like I said, he's very uncoordinated and wild with his punches, but, he is landing. And Belushi just looks like a bigger, more polished fighter, but he's just, I don't know. I think I might have to give round 2. Actually, Siraj. I think Siraj won that round. I think he actually landed more. I mean, he landed a lot more punches, it seemed like. I mean, this is some sloppiness. Some seriously sloppiness. Oh, I am sure right now Twitter is going crazy for this fight. All right. All right, so after I have it right now split 1 round apiece. Oh, Belushi he's landing that left hook really well. and he's doing a good job jabbing. I don't know why he was getting caught so much. So, I mean, Siraj is just rushing in, throwing everything in the kitchen sink at him. So you would hope that you could catch him with something big to kind of stop that. But so far, no, kind of no go. So let's see how. I think Belushi in this round is doing a little bit better. Yeah, that was good. I like seeing the body work. Oh, nice shots. Now Siraj is not having his way in this round. He's getting pummeled in this round. He might be hurt. He might be hurt right now. I mean, right now, it just seems like Belushi's doing substantially better work. Yep. So right now, Belushi winning this round. Nice body work. Really nice body work from Belushi in this. Siraj is looking a little tired. He's looking a little worn. He's looking a little hurt. He was rushing in and throwing a ton of punches. Now he's kind of just slow and way down. Big difference this round. All right, so that round was pretty clear, I think. And I think that'd go to Belushi. I think that was pretty obvious that he was doing the better work. So it seems like Siraj just kind of ran out of gas. Totally ran out of gas. So let's see how these guys finish the final round. I'm sure they'll go. I mean, there's not much to this, so they should be able to throw everything into this last round. And Belushi barely looks even. He doesn't look tired at all. Belushi looks very, very fresh. So let's see if we can, have Belushi finish it out. So Siraj just looks, he looks so tired. And this is only after fighting 3 rounds. Threw a lot of shots. I landed a couple there. Landed a couple shots. Belushi's just kind of laughing at him when he gets hit, though. And, this final round, it's only 4-round fight. If I'm Belushi, I'd be throwing everything right now. Work the body, go up back upstairs. I mean, why hold back? So I get that he's the local guy. Oh, that was a slip. I get he's the local guy, and he's probably going to get straight cards in his favor. But I mean, come on, you're on a major card. Go for the KO. Go for big shots. And actually, Siraj is landing some good shots still. Oh man, it's a little disappointing that Belushi's just like he doesn't even seem like he cares. Belushi's just kind of like hanging back, like, all right, I'm just gonna win this fight now. I think I won. I'm not really gonna do anything for the last minute. I mean, great body shot actually from Belushi that, but I mean, he just doesn't seem to care anymore. He seems like the fight's already over. I mean, Siraj is swinging for the fences at least. The announcing team's trying to sugarcoat it a little bit. What a tough little fella he is. Yeah. Yeah. Uh I don't think it matters what I score this fight. Mostly because I have a feeling we know how this is going to go. We have a good sense of who's going to win this. Probably the hometown guy. So I'm imagining right now that Siraj is going to now be 2-2 for his record. Yeah, Belushi didn't really try very hard. Like, didn't try hard at all. He seemed like he was just kind of relaxing, kind of throwing a few punches here and there. So Siraj is just like exhausted right now. Belushi barely looked like he even broke a sweat. Looked like he just like warmed up. But we got the judges' scorecards already, so this is going to be a really easy one. Very easy one. But hey, we're moving through the card, fairly quickly. Obviously, I had to throw in a filler fight. The fight that was supposed to be next on the card got canceled due to the fighter testing positive for COVID. So they got to make adjustments. So let's see who wins this little scrap, this little 4-rounder, and go from there. All right. Shocker. Oh, I would have never guessed they were going to pick the hometown guy. Okay. So let's see if we can maybe have a decent fight on this undercard. Right now this undercard has been pretty much trash. Whoa. Did not expect Belushi to be sounding like an American. That's awesome. Good for this guy. It's on a major card. Well, good for him. Seems like a nice kid. So I believe we have maybe 2 more fights on this undercard, and then we get the main event. Thankfully. So they're kind of trying to fill some time in. Obviously, when they have a 4-rounder and they're struggling to lengthen things out. So that's 2 undercard fights out of the way. Okay, we have Davis versus Ashley next. Davis versus Ashley. They're claiming it's going to be fireworks. I don't believe you. So, big spotlight though if you're such a, young guy, new guy to the sport. So, good on these young guys that are going to be on this undercard. It's really great opportunity to get some exposure globally. You know, I mean, considering they don't really have much of a crowd there either, it's got to be a little bit less stressful, you'd have to imagine. These guys get to get in on these fight cards, and, if this was in a monster stadium in the UK right now, or in Ireland, or in the US, I mean, there's that much more pressure. At least now they get to kind of get in, get some exposure on TV, and there's not as much pressure. So let's see if this helps them kind of build some of their careers. Seems like they're hyping up Davis right now, but we'll see how he looks when he's actually in the ring. Wow, this is a tiny little area that they're having this fight. I mean, tiny little area, and it looks like there's maybe, I don't know, 50 people max around this ring right now. Tiny. For a fight this magnitude, it's kind of weird to see so few people and no crowd and zero noise. I mean, zero noise. So I'm kind of curious if it's going to be, I mean, imagine if this was in Ireland or in the UK right now. And the crowd noise would be insane. So they're moving along nicely, at least. They're not putting too much filler in between fights, which I have to appreciate that at least. I love how the announcer has to keep on telling people to put their face masks on. Clearly, these people don't care as much about that, which I don't blame them. I mean, they're all sitting down and they're all like 10 feet apart. So, all right, all right. I wonder who, they're going to be feeding to this Davis kid. And I do mean feed to him because I'm sure they're going to be giving him a very easy, light touch. So, yeah, they keep showing this knockout of Rondon. Yeah, I don't know what this guy was thinking. Totally off balance and just gets absolutely crushed in the first round. It was a pretty good highlight reel knockout, though. So we have Keyshawn Davis, who they keep hyping up. I'm curious to see how he's going to look. So I'm sure they're going to give him a. If they keep on hyping up Keyshawn Davis this much, I'm sure this is going to be a light touch. Anytime I hear them being like, "Oh, he's 2-0 and he's the future," and I'm super excited to see him, I'm sure they're just going to give this kid a light touch. So we'll see how light of a touch they're going to give Davis. I'm not expecting much. I mean, the kid's he's 2-0, and if they have any money into them whatsoever, they're going to make sure to give him something simple. Someone easy to beat, someone build a really easy resume off of. So if they keep hyping up Davis, hopefully he delivers. Hopefully it doesn't turn into a long drawn out fight. He's 2-0. He should be trying to go for knockouts early on. So So let's move on to this next fight, and then I believe there might be one more. I wonder if they're gonna throw in another fight after this Keyshawn Davis. I believe there's one more, but this is moving along very quickly so far. It doesn't help you when your very first fight guy gets knocked out in about 30 seconds. So people seem to be showing a lot of that first fight knockout over on Twitter and online right now, which I think is great exposure for your young fighter. Get a highlight reel knockout and just get shown everywhere. That's the beauty of being on these cards. If you're relatively unknown. So okay. They're building up Keyshawn Davis quite a bit. Let's see who he's fighting. I'm fighting another young guy who's 10-1. Keyshawn Davis is 1-0. All right. So quite a bit of hype for a guy that's only had one professional fight. Was this a catch weight? Or is this supposed to be at 140? All right. I love how they're talking about a dude that has one professional fight. At least the other guy he's 10-1. He's had at least 10 professional fights. All right. Let's see how explosive this is because they keep on using that word over and over and over again. Okay. Legacy event. Man, this announcer has got a very much game show host vibe to him. They keep calling it possible fight of the night, and I'm just like, I doubt it. Oh, it's supposed to be lightweight, so neither guy made weight then. Great. Ghana produces some really good fighters, or fairly good fighters, so I'm curious how this plays out. This guy has certainly the most original entrance walk tonight. So let's see how much this Davis kid can do. Hopefully he goes in there and knocks him out first round, and then we can just move on. Yeah, he's really milking the ring walk. Man, this dude this dude's a character. Okay. This dude has been doing his ring walk to go 10 feet for like 20 minutes. Let's get going, dude. Now I just want to see him get knocked out after that annoying ring walk. Interesting that the guy that's had one professional fight is walking out second. Let's see how long he milks his ring walk. What is this? Oh man. This music he's walking out to. Oh my god. Okay. Come on, Keyshawn. Let's go. If you're gonna have a ring walk like this, you better do something pretty spectacular. I'm hoping that this is a first round knockout. We can start moving on in this card and just get to the main event. Because right now, these undercard fights have been pretty awful. What is Keyshawn Davis wearing? His robe looks like a puffy jacket. Whatever. Neither one of these guys, it seems like, made weight for lightweight, which is never a good thing to see when this is your second professional fight and you can't make weight. Okay. Interesting trucks on Davis. He's got kind of like a houndstooth with gold or something like that. I mean, fighters from Ghana are usually not that bad. So I'm kind of curious to see if he's going to push this young kid. 10-1. So he had some experience. So I mean, if he couldn't make weight, I'm curious what he ballooned up to during rehydration. He's 22 years old. You should be able to make weight. Oh, he's got like this fuzzy kind of like material in the front, Davis, and then gold on the side. Those are some very interesting trunks. All right. Let's see how spectacular Davis is. They keep talking about it. Let's see what this kid can do and how he looks. So right now, Davis is trying to stay on the front foot pretty much and just kind of jabbing a little bit, kind of feeling things out a little bit. Let's see if this kid from Ghana can actually come back with something, because right now he's just kind of shelling up and moving backwards. He's not really doing anything. Davis throwing a nice 1-2 right now. Ashley just kind of shelling up still, not really doing much. I mean, not doing anything right now. Davis is just kind of teeing off on him a little bit with 1s and 2s. Nice body shot from Davis. Shelly is just not doing anything. I mean, he hasn't thrown a single punch yet. Literally hasn't thrown a single punch yet. I don't understand what Shelly's trying to do right here. You gotta throw something back. Davis right now, kind of being the ring general, kind of pushing back at Shelly a little bit, but Shelly's just doing nothing. I don't know if he's even extended his hand once. Oh, he lands a huge hook on Davis. Whoo, that woke up Davis. That woke up Davis. If you could land that a few more times. Huge right hand from a Shelly. Davis right now still pushing a Shelly back into the corner. Shelly swinging wildly. Oh, Davis lands a nice right hand, overhand right. Now he's going to the body. Now they're kind of scrapping a little bit. Shelly not really doing too much, but he's still throwing a few power punches here and there. And then Davis pushes a Shelly down onto the canvas. Oh, come on, get up, man. A Shelly complaining. Davis certainly feeling like he's able to do what he wants. Nice straight right. So after the first round, considering a Shelly threw like 2 punches total, I think it's pretty obvious who won this round. I think we're gonna give that first round. We're definitely gonna give that to Davis. Davis certainly won that round. So we'll see how round 2 goes. If it continues like this, I'm curious to see if Davis can get him out of there. I like that Davis is going to the body. I like that he's mixing it up a little bit. Still looks a little raw for sure, but still, doing good work. Shelly's just not throwing anything, so Huge opportunity for Davis to make a statement. Come on. Okay, so round 2. Let's see how these guys square up this time. Right now, they're kind of feeling it out. Shelley getting in that high guard again and just basically laying on the ropes. Davis trying to go to the body. Doing 1-2s. Then taking that left hook right to the body. Davis is certainly looking like the better fighter right now. Nice right hook to the body from Davis. Nice hook from Davis. Shelley fighting back a little bit more now in this round, which is good to see. Davis now throwing 3 and 4 at Shelley. Shelley kind of just still in that high guard and just leaning up against the ropes. Nice body shot, nice liver shot from Davis. Davis is doing a lot with that jab that I like right now. Oh, nice uppercut from Davis. Shelley just is looking really not interested in engaging whatsoever. He landed a huge right hook last round, so I'm curious if he's going to go back to that. Yeah, Davis lands a nice uppercut and then kind of pushes, yet again, pushes Shelley down. Shelley's complaining a lot. Davis going to the body right now with rights and lefts. And Shelley trying to jab a little bit more, his way out of the corner a bit, but then kind of goes right back to it with that high guard. Davis is just kind of taking his time. I think he knows right now that he's doing the better work and isn't too scared to engage, so. Nice quick jab to the body from Davis. Shelley just kind of staying in that high guard and not moving forward. He throws a huge uppercut and almost lands it and then tries to follow up with a big overhand right. Shelley's not throwing much, but when he does throw, he's throwing with intent. That's for sure. Davis definitely outlanded, definitely did the better work in that round. So Davis right now certainly looks the aggressor and the better fighter right now. But it is interesting to see when Shelley throws, because when he does, he looks like he could hurt Davis possibly. So, he threw a huge uppercut that if he landed could have really changed this fight. So let's see if Shelley starts to kind of get out of this high guard and start to put a little bit more gas on everything. Or if he's just going to continue to stay in this mode of shelling up and kind of going backwards the whole time. Okay, Shelley coming out a little bit more on the front foot, throwing a few jabs now. This is what I wanted to see from him. Now it's Shelley trying to assert himself a little bit. Davis now having that left hand really low right now, kind of throwing his jab from the hip and then coming around with the right hand to the body. Now just landed a nice left uppercut. Davis is, I'm actually kind of liking what I'm seeing from him. He clearly, I mean, has some solid scales. I mean, granted, his opponent isn't throwing a ton back at him, but still, I like to see the variety of punches he's throwing. I like that he goes to the body quite frequently. Another body shot. Now a big uppercut with the right hand. And yet again, Davis just getting the better of the exchanges. Davis is doing some nice work here. Shelley kind of just wildly swinging. Big looping shots that just aren't landing. So, Davis, nice left uppercut. So far, I mean, this is probably the most entertaining fight we've had so far on this entire card. So right now, Davis kind of utilizing his jab a little bit to set up everything. Shelley kind of trying to fight a little bit longer. And just complaining. Why? He's just complaining. Davis is doing a nice job right there with a jab and then a straight right hand. Oh, landing again, 1 and 2s right on Shelley. Then tries to go to the body with 2 sweeping hooks from the right and left. Shelley now getting picked apart by Davis. Davis doing a nice job. Oh, just kind of using his shoulder kind of to roll off those punches that Shelley's throwing, those big looping hooks. And now Davis has got Shelley in the corner. Oh, nice straight right hand. And he does a great job of getting out of the way of those wild punches from Shelley. Davis clearly feeling very confident right now. Looking really solid. Very solid round for him. So I think it's pretty obvious we will be giving round 3 to Davis. I mean, Shelley is just complaining a lot, which I don't love. I hate when fighters just complain the entire fight. And, you know, I get it. These guys are throwing some pretty sloppy stuff out there. So, yeah, maybe there is a little bit of hitting to the back of the head and all that stuff like that. But I mean, it's not egregious. Certainly not egregious. So, now we're going to go into round 4. So, we're more than halfway through right now. And Davis hasn't given up a single round. Davis kind of looping a big right hand. Nice body shot from Davis with a nice left body shot right there, right towards the liver. So right now, Davis kind of getting back into that groove again. Shelley not as much of a high guard. He's kind of now in a looking like he wants to engage a little bit more and try to fight a little bit at least. Jabbing nicely, but Davis is picking him apart. Nice big overhand right, and then goes to the body with the left. I'll tell you what, Davis has some really good reflexes because he's just none of these big looping shots from Shelley are landing on him. Oh, nice big clubbing right hand from Davis. I like that Shelley's at least trying. He's at least throwing something now. Davis trying to work the body in the corner. And Shelley throwing wild punches. So right now we have Davis trying to stock down. Now throws to the body again. I mean, he's doing a great job with these body shots. And Shelley's just kind of going back to that normal, just going up against the ropes and try to fight out of the corner. And Davis does a nice job with that head movement to get out of the way from those wild shots from Shelley. I like this uppercut that Davis will throw with his left hand. If he can land that, man, he might put him out. Nice body shot. And Shelley doing a nice job of getting off the ropes, then puts himself back on it. Davis doing a nice job, just kind of controlling distance, controlling engagement. Definitely has the ring generalship in this fight. And right now we just have a Shelley going back to that high guard and then wildly throwing a big overhand right that does not land. I mean, all of Shelley's punches are very much telegraphed. I mean, he's just kind of getting beaten down right now in the corner. And Davis doing some nice work, 1 and 2s, landing pretty hard. And a Shelley might be hurt. A Shelley, I think, is hurt. His legs are looking very wobbly right now. Davis going in for the kill. And the end of the round. Shelley certainly looked hurt in that round. They stopped the fight. Yeah. Well, so much for that fight. I mean, Keyshawn Davis did a nice job. He did his job. He went in there. He looked good, especially during a fight that there wasn't much coming back at him. You know. And he did a solid job. You know, second fight pro, so you can't really judge him too harshly. You know. He went in there, did his job. Can't really complain too much about that. That's for sure. I'm glad they called that fight off. Keyshawn Davis did his job. All right. Oh, now they're going to do a nice little interview. Kid has plenty of time, that's for sure. 22 years old. Looks to have some solid skills. I mean, definitely not the hardest fight, but it's only his second fight total. I mean, you look at how polished he looks compared to, Campbell Hatton, who fought last weekend. And I mean, he has a chance to step up. So, good exposure for him. Now, can he make weight at lightweight is the real question. Yeah, that's true. You were going to knock his ass out. That's pretty cool. Good for him. Good for this kid. He seems like he has a good attitude. Hopefully, wow, 7 or 8 times he's gonna fight this year. That's awesome. That's what I want to hear from young guys like this. So, Keyshawn Davis just crushed that guy. I mean, he looked sharp. He looked like he had good defense. I mean, he looked really, really sharp. I liked how he just in general, all of his punches were a variety. Nice work for Davis. Good exposure for such a young kid. I mean, big exposure on a card like this. And he's not fighting, at the lowest part of the card, so I'm sure he got a few eyes on him. Looking at Twitter right now, people are pretty happy with the way he looks. People are pretty impressed by him. I mean, he did a lot of things right. Definitely going to be checking out Keyshawn Davis some more when I hear he's on undercards. Really, really strong performance. Didn't have the hardest opponent in the world, but still did really excellent work. I mean, there's a lot to be excited about for this kid. Okay, let's see what's next. Let's get it moving. Now they're really trying to fill in some time. I mean, we're talking about him being very similar to Shakur Stevenson. Um, I could see a little bit, but I'm kind of surprised at the little to no resistance Shelly or a Shell, Ashley, however you want to say his name, put up. I mean, he didn't seem like he even wanted to be in the ring with him. It's like there was no resistance, no didn't want to be involved, didn't want to exchange, which I don't blame him because he certainly wasn't doing much when they did have exchanges. So, They're talking about him being a future star. I don't know about that, but I'd say he looked very sharp, really good. All right. Very close to main event. We are getting very close to the main event. This undercard has been going by very quickly. Very few fights. I don't think only one has gone the distance, and that was a 4-rounder. So we are looking at a much more accelerated card than I expected. So that's a good thing for us boxing fans. We're going to get to this main event very quickly. Unless the next fight is going to be like a 10-rounder and it goes full 10 rounds. I mean, based on how this card's been, unfolding, it looks like we're going to get the Frampton versus Harrington fight very, very soon. So they're kind of showing behind the scenes right now with Carl Frampton and was that Rocky Fielding? It looked like was there with him. It's almost a shame that there isn't a monster crowd for this fight. This fight deserves to have a huge crowd rooting these guys on. It really does. It's a shame that it's in it's in Dubai and there's 50 people there total and no one making any noise whatsoever. It's just a shame that this isn't in like the UK or even in the US, but still like it'd be amazing if this fight was in the UK right now. The amount of people that would come over, from Northern Ireland to see it in London or in various locations would just be unreal, and the noise would be incredible if this was in the UK. And it's just kind of ho-hum that you see these 50 people not saying anything. Not saying anything, not doing anything. It kind of bums me out that this couldn't be in a big time fight with a huge crowd. But, I'm happy the fight's going to happen in general. This undercard is very underwhelming, though. Very underwhelming undercard. So. Man, the camera work is god awful on this card right now. The feed I'm looking at right now is like the camera can't even stay still. It's just like oscillating. It's just like slightly shaking. Like someone please stabilize his camera. Yeah. All right, let's go. Let's go, boys. Let's move it along. Yeah, whoever's doing this camera work right now can't stabilize this camera worth shit. It's pretty terrible. All right. What do we got next? Looks like Amir Khan's there. Wishing both guys luck, which is pretty cool. All right. Let's see. I think I announced the next fight. All right, so I think we should be in store for Frampton Herring fight very soon. I mean, both guys are already in the dressing room getting ready, and this undercard's been super short. So I'm probably gonna say that we're gonna get to this fight probably in the next hour. So that's at least positive. So right now, we're just waiting to hear about the next fight. Kind of a little bit of downtime. Um, a lot of talk right now on Twitter about Davis, who we just saw. Looked really fresh, looked very sharp, very, very accurate with his punching. Did not take a lot of shots, which I like to see in a young guy like that. And, he looked like it's his second fight, so we'll see how it all plays out. But he looked like a very sharp young fighter. For being 22 years old, he has plenty of time to kind of build up his career. We'll see how this all kind of plays out with him. I'm curious if he's going to keep trying to make the 135 and stay at lightweight, or if he's going to maybe go up to 140. He seems like a little bit bigger guy. He probably could fight at 140. And if he's having issues making weight, because he came in 3+ pounds over lightweight. I mean, maybe lightweight's not his weight class. Then again, if you're 22 years old, you should be able to make weight, especially in your second fight. That's kind of not great to see. Don't love young guys that can't make weight, But he was in the ring. He looked really good. He looked sharp. Looked good. Didn't have a ton of power, but it looked like he at least had a few moments where he hurt. I keep wanting to call him Ashley. They keep on calling him Michelle on the feed, but yeah, really good, solid step up for him. I mean, it's like I said, it's his second fight. What do you expect from him, right? Showcased his skills, and people seem to be fairly happy with his performance, and I don't see why not. I mean, there was no point where I don't even think he took any shots whatsoever. Now they're doing like a brief intermission right now, which obviously they need to fill some time. They obviously need to fill some time for this card. They've just basically run through this entire undercard almost completely in no time. In less than 2 hours, they've run through their entire undercard. So right now they're just doing fillers. Which I'm sure if they had another way of throwing in another 4-rounder, they would. Now, granted, one of the undercard fights was canceled due to one of the fighters testing positive for COVID. So this card immediately got a little bit shorter. They threw in a 4-rounder. And, that went the distance. But certainly these other fights have been shortened up already. The first fight lasted less than like 30 seconds. And then this one that we just watched with Davis didn't even go the distance either, and it was only a 6-rounder. So it'll be very interesting to see how this plays out, and how much time they're going to try to fill, because I don't know what they're going to do. The commentary team, I don't think, is going to be able to fill up a ton of time. It's not like they can sit there and have a lot of people do side interviews like you'll see on DAZN does that all the time. A lot of side interview kind of stuff to fill gaps. I don't think we're going to have that really. Even though there's guys like Rocky Fielding's there and Amir Khan's there. I mean, there's people to interview. I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to do that. But, I mean, they need to do something. Right now, they are just killing time. Right now, it looks like Frampton is backstage, just kind of relaxing, talking to Amir Khan right now. So, right now we're just getting a little fight hype, and they're trying to build up and kill a little time. Was this Mark Kriegel doing Mark Kriegel doing his classic fight build up where they're showing highlights of everything from their last previous fights. I'm surprised they haven't just jumped into the next fight on the undercard right now. Instead, we got to watch this ESPN kind of build up. This whole production for this undercard's been pretty poor. So, whatever. Main fights is the big reason that we're watching. We don't care about the undercard, right? So, right now, we're watching a classic ESPN Mark Kriegel build up. And hopefully soon we will be the actual fight. So, Joe Tessitore talking about Dubai. Finally, I'm pretty pumped that we're going to be getting this fight. This fight's taken so long to get, and it's nice that we're finally getting it. I like that both guys are already basically ready to go. And now they're just doing fight chat right now with Joe Tessitore, Bradley, and Ward with Mark Kriegel, who I strongly dislike Mark Kriegel. Kriegel is about as boring as it gets when it comes to fight commentary. Kriegel is, there's no enthusiasm behind him. There's just not a lot going on with him. So I don't know why they're not showing this fight that's, the co-main for this right now. But right now they're just kind of killing time. The undercard just basically destroyed their timetable for this fight. So they're doing what they can to kind of fill up that little bit extra. Clearly, they, you think that they'd do some interviews with like Amir Khan's there. Why aren't you talking to people that are actually there? There's a couple fighters that are hanging around right now. Instead, we're just going to go cut back to ESPN and let them, chit chat for a while. Anyone have any predictions on this fight? Let me know in the chat, by the way. Pretty excited for this fight overall right now. I think this is a true 50-50 fight. I think that both guys obviously are at the age now where they're talking about retirement. They're talking about getting out of the game. I get it. It totally makes sense that both guys are talking about getting out of fighting at their age. But let's see who has a little bit more left in the gas tank for this fight. I think this is a real 50-50 fight. And I could see it going either way. I could see, Frampton, I don't think is going to be getting hit with anything that he can't handle. And that's going to mean that he can try to get on the inside and do the work that he wants to do. The big thing for Herring in this fight is just that he has a monster reach advantage. He's both guys are just as tough as it comes when it comes to fighters. There's no quit in either one of these guys. I think we're going to see a fantastic fight with both of these guys. And overall, I think whoever wins definitely deserves to win and definitely deserves to call themselves champ. So let's see. Hi, the fight is live in the UK. TV show doesn't start till 10 p.m. So they cannot start the fight before then. 1 hour still to go. Yeah, I don't know what's going on right now and why they're stalling so heavily. I know that I know Marv that with this undercard, the undercard was just so brutally short that I don't understand why they're not just kind of progressing things. Instead, they're just killing time right now, which sucks. I hate when they kill time. And they have, like I've already talked about on the stream, there's ways to kill time right now. If you want to lengthen things out, why aren't you talking to Amir Khan? I believe Rocky Fielding's there. Have some interviews, do something rather than just flip it back to ESPN and have Bradley, Joe Tessitore, Ward, and my least favorite, Mark Kriegel, just chit-chatting about this fight. Like I don't understand, man. I don't understand. We should be watching undercard at the very least. And they're going to just stall right now. They're just going to stall it. So I know both these guys I know that they got in probably about an hour and a half ago to the actual event, into the, actual arena, or I don't even know what to call this thing, where they're fighting. So I know they need some time to kind of warm up. I know they need some time to kind of like get ready and everything like that. So maybe that's why they're trying to kill a little extra time. But I also think that they were not expecting such a short undercard. And yeah, they are at least an hour earlier than they were expecting. So now we have to kind of like suffer because of that, which sucks. I hate when they do this, when they just stall like this. If it's about both guys kind of being warmed up and ready to go. Now they're talking about co-main. So now here we go. So it looks like we are going to get the co-main. They're not going to delay it too much longer. Thankfully. So we are getting co-main, and then we are getting finally the main event, which is going to be excellent fight. I mean, we've waited this long for this fight. I can wait a little bit longer. We've all been waiting for these two to go at it. So, anyone have any fight predictions for the main event? I'm pretty split. I think Frampton could pull it out. But Herring is he's a tough guy to beat, and with the reach advantage he has, I mean, it could cause Frampton problems if he's not as quick. Although I have been hearing that Frampton has switched up his strength and conditioning coach. That could be a good thing for him. Here we go, co-main event now. So Carrillo versus Dietes. Both guys right now are just feeling things out a little bit. So let's see how this co-main goes. The undercard so far has been very unimpressive. I mean, especially at this weight class, we should see a lot of volume of punches. So right now, they're just kind of feeling things out, jabbing, kind of staying in the middle of the ring. So far, first minute, neither guy's landed anything. So right now, still feeling out. Nothing happening. 10 rounder. That'll kill a little time for them. It's so quiet. It's so weird to see a Frampton card with just no noise whatsoever. Both guys still feeling things out. Nothing big happen right now. You're picking Frampton. He's fought way better names. He's faster. Herring doesn't seem to have a lot of pop. That's very true. I'll agree with that. Absolutely. The reason most people are picking Herring is because, yeah. I mean, the size is a thing. The size is a thing. But the other thing that, to prove to your point, Jay, a great point to make is that when you look at the losses that Herring's had, one of them in particular was to a guy that almost knocked him out, who was 5'5". So it's not like Herring can't be hurt by smaller guys. He literally has. He almost got knocked out. I heard Frampton say that the Herring team have made a mistake arriving to Dubai late. Interesting. Frampton took a while to get over a jet lag. Yep. He says that Herring will be tired with the late arrival. Interesting take. Very interesting take. Interesting thing to note I've heard so far about this fight. And to me, this is something that shows a lot about both guys. I don't know if anyone else saw that Jamel Herring's wife tweeted about Frampton and his team. I guess Frampton and his team have been nothing but gentlemen to her and have been really nice and sweet to her, both Frampton and everyone on his team. And, with big fight weeks like this, I know guys get really amped up and everything like that. It's kind of nice to hear stuff like that. It's kind of nice to hear that, a guy like Frampton, even though he's obviously excited for this fight, him and his team can be kind to Herring's wife. Kind of just shows the class, right? I mean, very, very classy. Here we go, round 2 in this co-main. So far, both guys kind of starting a little slow, but now it seems like they might warm up a little bit. So far, both guys just kind of jabbing, kind of getting distance, getting into rhythm. Let's see if these guys can get maybe in a little bit of a firefight soon, hopefully. No one going to the body really yet either. Any thoughts on the Canelo versus Sanders fight in Dallas next month? I do have a couple thoughts about this. So, this is my opinion. And, take it for what it's worth. If Billy Joe was back at 160 and he was his classic kind of slickness that we saw a couple of years ago, I think, yeah, he could probably have given Canelo a little bit of issues. But as of recently, I haven't seen Saunders do anything at all that makes me believe that he can do he can land anything or do anything to hurt Canelo. Canelo is, not only is he very consistent, he's very powerful, and he has amazing ring generalship. He's thriving right now in that Reynoso camp, and it just seems like a really great pairing. Saunders, on the other hand, is very inconsistent. And although I think he has great skills, I feel like, and this is my opinion, like I said, I just don't feel like he's in love with boxing the same way as he used to be. I feel like he wants this fight. He wants to get good money. And look, boxing is not a permanent career. It's a temporary career. So get in, get your money, and get out. And if that means Saunders gets in there and he gets beat by Canelo, which that's what I'm going to predict, then, get paid and get out. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. If Canelo beats Saunders, which I'm expecting he does, Saunders just has some maybe local bouts if he wants to, some lower level guys, gets a couple more paychecks, and then retires. Go be a coach, go be a promoter, go, work on different teams. I mean, he's got the mouth on him to do other things outside of boxing. He's got the mouth on him to he speaks so well, and granted, he's not, he's causes a lot of issues for his, Eddie Hearn when it comes to the way he goes about his actions outside of the ring in terms of the way he uses social media. But still, I mean, he's an entertaining dude. Will I be showing the fight? I cannot show the fight on the actual screen. If I put it on the actual screen, I will get banned by YouTube. But if you're looking for a link, I can help you out. I can't put it in the chat, but I can lead you to a actual live stream if that's what you're looking for. Fizzy. So let me know if you need that. I can try to help you out. Round 2. Feel like it's pretty balanced right now. Okay, Fizzy, so this is what you want to do. I want you to go to Google. I want you to type in stuff like buffstreams.tv or, crack streams, boxing, any one of those kind of phrases. And you will be led to websites that will generally have pop-ups. But if you get past the pop-ups, usually you can find something. That's what I've heard from my friends that they use to kind of find that stuff. I can't put it in chat. I can't put it on the description because that breaks TOS. So hopefully that helps you out, Fizzy. Hopefully you enjoy the fight. So UK perspective, I'm definitely curious to see what your perspective is. Saunders is not just for the paycheck. Okay. Has never been beaten. That's true. We all agree Canelo is amazing. Yep. Saunders is in best shape of his life with 6 weeks to go. Awkward southpaw. Interesting. That's a good perspective, but the big question is how are you going to stop Canelo from coming forward? Fizzy, yeah. Glad, brother. Glad that hopefully that works out for you. So Marv, that's my big thing is if you can't stop Canelo from coming forward, what are you going to do? How are you going to stop him from coming in and landing monster body shots? Because the thing is with slick fighters, you take their bodies away from them, Saunders in love with himself. Even Saunders at 100% probably would not beat Canelo. I'm not saying he's trash. He's good, but he's not enough. Billy is very quick. He will hit and move. Canelo get frustrated. I think that if Saunders at his very best can be very slick, but how do you slow down slick fighters? You go to the body. And who's a monster body puncher? Canelo. I'm not saying that Billy Joe Saunders can't have some success. I'm just saying I don't see him doing it for 12 rounds. That's my big thing. I don't see Billy Joe Saunders not being able to get hit to the body for 12 rounds and slowing down. I think that I'm glad to hear that he is in good shape. I'm glad to hear that he's, in a good mindset because he's going to need to be. But I also haven't seen Billy Joe Saunders get pushed too hard, in terms of having to completely change his game plan midstream in a fight. He's done pretty well adapting, but I don't know if he'll be able to adapt quick enough to a guy like Canelo. I think the big thing is what's going to decide that fight for Billy Joe Saunders and how he does is mentally, how tough is he going to be once he starts having a lot of adversity from Canelo? Because we know Canelo's going to bring it. We know he's going to bring it. So I think it's a really interesting fight. And like they always say, Marv, the big thing is with fights is styles make fights. And you have two guys with two different styles. And that's what makes it fun. Like, that's what makes people have conversations about who they think is going to win. I think personally, I'm probably going to, if I had to put down $1,000, it would be on Canelo. But that doesn't mean I don't think that Billy Joe Saunders will, be interesting. Is the U.S. excited for Fury versus Joshua? Not really as much. Not really. I'll be honest with you. Are U.S. boxing hardcore fans? Yes. Like, the guys that actually watch a lot of boxing are excited for that fight. The thing you have to understand about U.S. casual fans is they literally don't know who Joshua is. I know that sounds crazy to people in the UK, but I've been into big stores, like big, huge commercial stores, sporting goods stores that are monster size. And AJ has been on there for Under Armour ads. And I would literally say to casual boxing fans that I know, do you know who that guy is? And they would say no. So AJ, the big thing with him, with casuals here, is that he was known for a hot minute for getting knocked out or getting stopped by Ruiz. And then when the rematch happened, he boxed instead of engaged, which was smart, because why would you give up that reach you have? And a lot of the casual fans are like, well, this is boring. And so they don't, there's not a lot of love with casual fans in AJ here. There's almost none. Fury, on the other hand, has a good, decent following here from casuals. It's pretty minor though. It's definitely bigger than AJ though. Definitely bigger than AJ. Substantially bigger. Fury's done a nice job. These guys are exchanging right now very well. This co-main is actually heating up pretty well. So I don't know if that answers your question, Marv. I'm excited for it. I'm super pumped for Fury versus Joshua. Talk about styles make fights. Both those guys have very different styles of fighting. And both of them, you're talking about two huge human beings getting in the ring and throwing big punches. If Fury comes in at 275 again, like he did against Wilder, I think it might be the first time AJ's fought a guy that's that much bigger than him. Now, I know that Fury and AJ have sparred, obviously, but this, looking at pictures of Fury right now, he looks so cut. He looks so skinny. His face, you can see it in Fury's face. He looks very different than he did even a year ago. These guys are absolutely trading leather right now. Nietes is doing a really nice. I like the work Nietes is doing in this round quite a bit. Carrillo, though, is, no slouch. I had him winning the 2 rounds. I have this split right now. So, this year so far, 2021, has been a jam-packed with great fights. We had some really good fights. And what I like to hear is for once, the WBC is using the franchise belt for good. And they're going to elevate Estrada to franchise champion so that they can have the Chocolatito trilogy, which I love. I'm very excited for the trilogy. Other thing that is that Canelo has fought two slicker guys, Lara and Trout, good example. For example, and Canelo has, Canelo has gotten better. He certainly has gotten better. I think the big thing to note with both those Lara and Trout fights, I know those are very close fights, and I think from the thing I like about Canelo is he adapts and he changes over time. You look at him before at the beginning of his career, and you look at him now, and he's just, to put on the weight he has, go up in weight, and deal with bigger fighters the way he has is just so impressive. His defense has come leaps and bounds. His power has gone through the roof. His physical training is top notch. So I'm a big fan of Canelo. If you ask me, he's pound for pound. How do you guys feel about the fact that it looks like it might be Crawford versus Manny Pacquiao? Any thoughts on that possible fight? I know it's a kind of like a rumor right now. Nothing's confirmed, but I'm very curious about that fight. Crawford, I know people probably would favor, but I mean, you can never count out Manny Pacquiao, even if he is 42 years old. Carrillo doing a nice job right now, keeping center, but eating a couple shots right now. Carrillo trying to find a way in. Carrillo right now is lunging a little bit, and he's now eating. Oh, he just landed a huge monster right hand, just got landed. Nietes did a nice job with that straight right. By the way, guys, thanks for stopping by the stream and hanging out and watching some boxing with me. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the fights right now. We do a live stream basically every Saturday, whether it be UFC or boxing. Nietes is doing a nice job right now, mixing up his punches both upstairs and downstairs. And right now he's throwing a nice 1-2. And it looks like he's kind of taking control of the fight. He also looks like the bigger fighter in there as well. Nietes is doing a nice job right now. Circling. Oh, Carrillo lands a monster left hook on him. Now Carrillo getting a little bit more confident. Going to the body and then coming back upstairs with a big left. That lead left hook definitely woke up. That was a good round. Oh, man. I think for the work that was done, I'm going to have to give it. I think I'm going to have to kind of give it that way right now. Nietes is doing more work. So kind of had to give him that round. Let's see if it continues, though. Yeah. Nietes is doing a nice job right now, but Carrillo, I mean, if he lands a big shot, it could change this fight very quickly. I'll be real. I think I'll take Pacquiao, especially if the odds are the heavy favor for Crawford, as they seem they'll be. I will say it's really annoying that Spence Crawford are ducking each other. I absolutely agree, Jay. I mean, I hate hearing from Crawford, oh, I don't need to fight Spence. I'm already a Hall of Famer. And it's like, that's great. That's great. You're going to be a Hall of Famer, Crawford, but I'd love for you to fight Spence. I don't understand. I get it. I know why. It's money. It's money. That's the thing. It's all comes down to money with those two. I think Spence probably is more willing to take the fight than Crawford is. Crawford, I mean, let's not forget, Crawford's like, what, 34 years old? Doesn't have a ton left. Very happy with his career so far. Nieta is landing a nice straight right hand. And I think overall, he wants to get paid. I think Crawford feels like he hasn't been paid what he's owed. He's not happy with Bob, and honestly, I don't feel like he feels like he's gotten the fights that he wants. And so because of that, he's kind of a little bit sour on everything. Last year, obviously, he didn't fight at all. Lost an entire year of fighting. Ooh. Corello landing and doing some nice work now. I actually kind of like Manny in the Crawford fight a little bit, purely just because I think that, to your point, Jay, I think a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, obviously Crawford's going to win, and I think Manny Pacquiao is going to surprise some people. So I think that's kind of a fun fight. So they're talking about it being in Abu Dhabi for that fight, and I think Pacquiao initially was looking at more of an exhibition fight with Conor McGregor, but we all know what happened to Conor McGregor against Dustin Poirier. Did not go well. This round right now has been an excellent round. I mean, both these guys going back and forth, landing big shots. Carrillo. I don't know if I might give that round to Carrillo. I have it pretty split. Joe Tessitore doesn't, but I don't care what he has. They're right now. ESPN's literally talking about Crawford versus Pacquiao, and they're showing their top 10 pound for pound, and they have Terrence Crawford over Canelo, which is like, you got to be. That's a joke, right? Like, that's a joke, right? There's no way Crawford is above Canelo when it comes to pound for pound. I'm sorry, it's just not. And I like Crawford. So, good money for both guys, though, hopefully. Good money for both guys. All right, let's see how this. I mean, we're more than halfway through this co-main. Nietes is doing a nice job right now, keeping distance. Nice 1 and 2, but nothing really lands. Nietes' corner is reacting every time he lands on the gloves, especially. Ooh, tries to go for a huge lead left hook, Nietes. Yeah, they're talking about now how Spence is going to be fighting Ugas. And so maybe that after Crawford and Spence have their fights, Pac-Man and Ugas, maybe then they meet up afterwards. I'll believe it when I see it. Neither guy wants to be B-side. That's for sure. Right now, Nietes is doing the better work right now, but not doing a ton of work right now. Nietes is landing a nice stiff jab, though. Nice body work from Corello. Did you hear about Cotto versus Margarita possible fight? Oh, man. They need to stop. They need to stop all these old guys coming back. I know Oscar's coming back. I know they talked about Eric Moraz coming back. I mean, they all saw how much money Mike Tyson made. They all saw how much money he made to come back and fight Roy Jones Jr. And I know that, look, it's tough. It's tough retiring from fighting when that's all you know. And especially those two. Certainly that was their life. I hope Cotto kicks the crap out of Margarita. I hope he beats the crap out of him again. Anytime a dude has ever gone into the ring with loaded gloves, I will always root against you, man. I will always root against you for cheating like that. But yeah, all these older guys talking about getting back in the ring, it's kind of a little bit, I mean, who am I to tell them what to do? They're adults. They're grown men. But still, it's a little bit nerve-wracking because, just you think long-term about their health, right? And, I mean, taking a lot of, it's one thing when they were younger and they were taking shots to the head, but now they're at a very different part in their life. And to be getting punched in the face and in the head again, I just don't love it. That said, I would root for Cotto every time. So, you know who I'm, no, wait. Oh, it's Marquez, not Margarita. Sorry, my bad. I immediately thought Margarita. I don't know. My bad. Yeah, that's a little different story. Still probably would root for I still would probably root for Cotto. But still. What do you think about Andy Ruiz fighting Chris Arreola? I'm excited to actually see Andy Ruiz come back, man. I want to see Andy Ruiz. He looks super skinny. I know he's in Eddie Reynoso's camp now. I'm actually super, super excited to see Andy Ruiz step in the ring again. I'm very excited for that. Not because I think Chris Arreola is going to be like a great opponent, but I just want to see. I want to see how Andy Ruiz looks now that he's been in Canelo's camp and Eddie Reynoso and just lost so much weight. Because I really like Andy Ruiz. In the UK, we are hoping for Dillian White versus Ruiz or Dillian versus Wilder. Yes, Marv, I absolutely agree with you, brother. Both of those are excellent fights. And I'll tell you what I like probably more than the best matchup there. My point is taken. A lot of fighters are coming back. Yeah. It's just like, it's kind of scary to see these guys at that age take punches like that. So Marv, the big thing I would mention, I would love to see Dillian White versus Wilder. I would buy the pay-per-view just based on the amount of trash talk. Like, you're talking about sensational press conferences and trash talk leading up to that fight. I mean, excellent trash talk. And Dillian White, even though he's a dude that, look, he is the type of guy. I know a lot of people, if you want to see my prediction for him versus Povetkin, I thought Povetkin might come back and be able to do the same, he looked his age. He looked 42 years old. And Dillian Whyte looked phenomenal. I mean, his physical appearance looked excellent. But I said in that fight, a lot of people want Dillian Whyte to change the way he is. They want him to jab and move, and he does pretty good at that sometimes. But the truth is, Dillian Whyte's a brawler. That's the way he fights, man. He's going to eat big shots. He's going to get hurt in fights, but he's not going to change. He's not going to turn into this dude that just stays on the outside and just jabs his way to a victory. That's not Dillian Whyte. That's not who he is. And at his current age, he shouldn't try to change the way he is. And that's what makes him such an exciting fighter. That's why I tune in for every Dillian Whyte fight. Because that dude comes in there and he's going to eat leather and he's going to throw leather every single time. Monster shots. And when you're going against a guy like Wilder, you can't do that as much. You got to be careful because obviously Wilder's right hand is just crazy scary. But Wilder eats a lot of shots as well. He eats a ton of shots. I mean, when he fought Ortiz the second time, I thought Ortiz might have him, and Ortiz was looking very good in that fight. And then, Wilder lands a monster right hand that was just like a highlight reel knockout. So that's why I like that fight a little bit more than the Ruiz fight, just purely based on the trash talk is going to be sensational. The press conferences are going to be amazing. I mean, we're going to get some serious boxing memes out of that press conferences between those two. And in the end, we're going to get a great fight. Someone's getting knocked out in that fight. That fight's not going the distance. And if it's, I would love to see Whyte versus Wilder. In fact, I'd pay to see that, even though I'm a big fan of Whyte. I've always thought Wilder wins that. His defense and chin is a bit suspect. I agree, man. Look, I'm not the biggest Wilder fan in the world, but, I think he gets discounted. So there's two things with Wilder, in my opinion. And this is just, like I said, this is my opinion. He gets discounted with his general boxing ability because he does get super wild. His footwork is not great. He gets off balance. I get that. I get it. When you watch him get crazy, he gets crazy. But the other thing is that people think he's unintelligent. He's not a smart guy. That's how people always feel like. Now, granted, recently he has not helped his cause much with how, his theories on why he's lost to Tyson Fury and everything like that. I get that. But it's because a lot of people don't realize how much of the dude's from Alabama. He's going to have a Southern draw. And people just generally think if you have a Southern draw, you're not an educated person and you're not intelligent. And the truth is that Wilder's not the dumbest dude. He's not just this big oaf that throws a big right hand. If you watch the Joe Rogan podcast, he's just a Southern boy who's worked really hard to get where he is. And I kind of like Wilder when he's not being the Bronze Bomber. When he's just being himself, he seems like a kind of guy that would be fun to get a beer with. He does. In terms of Whyte is a character himself, for sure. And I kind of love Whyte in a sense that he just kind of gives that sense of like he just doesn't give a fuck. He just doesn't care what people think of him. And he is well deserved to have the fight against Wilder. Him and Wilder should have fought years ago when he was mandatory. So I think that I think it's well overdue that those two square up. And it'll be super fun. I mean, that's a fight for the fans right there. Someone's getting knocked out. Trash talk's going to be amazing. And, I mean, who doesn't want to see two big heavyweights just throw bombs with just nothing but bad intent? So, does Wilder want to fight anymore? That's a great point, Marv. I mean, he seems like he does. He seems like he'll talk about stuff. But to your point, I don't know. I don't know. He seems kind of in this mode where he likes talking about fights. He kind of likes talking about possible matchups, but he doesn't want to actually do anything. It's a little disappointing. Now, the thing is, Wilder is in his mid-30s. I think Tyson might have broken his confidence. Look, when you get dominated like that, and I mean dominated as a fighter, it's hard to mentally come back from that. Absolutely tough to come back mentally from something like that. And I don't know if Wilder mentally is in the right place. With the excuses, with everything else, I just don't know if he can do it anymore, man. I just don't know. The other thing is he's been in the same camp his entire career with DJ, and I think he would benefit greatly to change things up. You know, that's one thing I have to applaud Tyson Fury for. A lot of people criticize him, and I even questioned it when he left Ben Davidson, but it's turned out pretty good for him being in Kronk camp. So I think if I'm Wilder, I think DJ's a nice guy, and obviously he's been a huge reason that Wilder's gotten where he has, but I mean, I don't think you can change Wilder, but I think you can tweak him. I think you can tweak him a little bit. And you know what the big thing is, Marv, that drives me crazy? Floyd Mayweather reached out and said that he would love to help out Wilder. I have a whole video on it, by the way. I made a whole video about Floyd Mayweather genuinely reaching out saying he would love to help out Wilder. And Wilder just threw it away. Why? Like, why would you not, especially a guy like Floyd, you know? And I'm not saying he's going to become this like defensive mastermind like Floyd, but you got to change stuff up, you know? Tyson Fury broke everything in him, especially when you are delusional. Look at AJ's reacted when he lost to Ruiz, and look how Wilder reacted. That's one thing I have to say about AJ. AJ handled it like a man. When he lost, he took it on the chin. He took it on the chin. He didn't make excuses. Now, did people around him, and some fans say, oh, well, he had a concussion and from sparring that week, and look at how he was chewing on his mouth guard. He was nervous. He was looking past Ruiz. Other people around boxing made excuses for AJ. AJ never made any excuses. And I am not an AJ fan. Like, I don't love the whole like stay humble thing. And I feel like he's a little bit plastic in terms of like just the way he kind of presents himself as this like stay humble, yada, yada, yada thing. But I have a lot of respect for him. Like, after that fight, I had even more respect for him because I felt like, that's the real AJ, is when he was like, I'm staying humble. He legit actually did. And he didn't make excuses. And the other thing is too, the body transformation, he debulked and he went in, and I actually predicted that fight. I actually predicted that AJ was going to box and not try to knock out. Wow, I actually had this a very, very, very close fight. I mean, it's really hard to take a loss like that and then come back. I have this as basically a split fight, but I think it's going to go to Nietes. I think AJ, the one thing I like about him is that he's willing to adapt and change. And not all fighters are willing to do that. Their egos get in the way, and he is. So that's a big thing with him. He certainly made me a much bigger fan of him afterwards. I mean, these guys, total landed punches, they're showing right now. I mean, pretty close just looking at CompuBox. I think they're going to give it to Nietes, though. Power punches landed, though. I mean, that was a solid fight, actually. I'm really glad to see that. I'm really glad to see these guys put on a good performance right before the main. So let's see who wins this co-main, and then we'll get ready for the main event. Yeah, the way they're talking about this right now, they believe Niete has won this, which that's fine. We'll start getting this set up for the next fight. So overall, I'm excited to see what the rest we're gonna get for the rest of this year when it comes to fights. The thing that's really bumming me out is that we're not gonna get a Tank Davis fight probably this year. After that huge win he had, we're not gonna get a Tank Davis fight. Tank's gonna have so much legal trouble this year. I don't know if you guys heard about that, but yeah, Tank's certainly not gonna be fighting probably this year. He's gonna be paying a lot of lawyers. And he might even do jail time, which I don't know if that's going to stick or not. They'll probably just throw it down to just a big, huge fine. 96-95 First Georgia. Whoa, 99-91? That's a terrible card. Yeah, they gave it to Netes. I thought the guy that had the 95-96 card, that's pretty legit. That's not a robbery, but I mean, one of those cards was atrocious. One of those cards was really bad. 99-91, that's an awful card. All right, guys, I'm going to go get some beer real quick and hit the head real quick, and then we'll get ready to go. How much of a chance are you giving AJ versus Fury? The biggest question I have with AJ versus Fury is I think it's Fury's fight to lose. And I'm wondering what kind of mind games Fury will do and if they're effective against AJ. That's the big thing. AJ has supreme confidence and unlike Klitschko, who was at like the end of his career, he's kind of more in the middle of it a little bit. I give AJ a chance. He has the power. You think AJ has a way better chance than most people seem to think? I absolutely agree with you, Jay. I absolutely agree with you. I'm leaning more like some people would have it maybe like an 80-20 or a 90-10 when it comes to this split in terms of what percentage they think Fury's going to win compared to AJ. I'm kind of more like 60-40. Like that's where I'm at. Like with AJ's power, the way he's grown, the way he's changed, he used to be so robotic and he's just found ways to kind of get so much smoother. And with Fury is very inconsistent. Go watch the, Otto Wallin fight and go tell me that guy is going to beat AJ. Anything can happen, and Fury isn't the most consistent fighter. He's not. AJ's fairly consistent. That's one thing I have to give in favor of AJ. He shows up, and generally speaking, he fights. He's not as much of a bulldozer as he was when he first started, but I think that's good. I think that's smart. He applies really smart pressure. It's not just unnecessary pressure, it's smart pressure, and that's one thing AJ does really well. Fury can be inconsistent. Generally speaking, he steps up to the plate, though, when it's a big, big fight. That's one thing that he does do well. All right, I am going to take a quick piss, get some beer, and I will be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere. All right, here we go. Main fight. By the way, guys, if you are not sub to the channel, I would love for you guys to sub so we can hang out more for these live streams every Saturday. Super fun talking with Marv and Jay. You guys are awesome, man. You know, one thing that someone brought up to me actually in my comment section, one of my fight prediction for this is that you know, everyone talks about the fact that Herring's, you know, been in the military, seen combat and stuff like that. Someone brought up, they're like, from Northern Ireland, they're like, you know, Carl Frampton growing up, it was like a war zone in Northern Ireland at the time. And it's like, that's a great point, man. Like, both these guys have seen some stuff. Both these guys have seen some stuff. So, yep, Wallen was looking like Joe Frazier in there versus Fury. He did have him on the ropes. And the other thing is, too, what I love to see from Otto Wallin in that fight was the fact he didn't neglect the body, which we saw what happened with the Tom Schwartz fight when he completely neglected the body and was just going for big punches. Herring is way too big, Patrick says. He is big, but he doesn't have the power, I think, to maybe completely slow down Frampton from coming in. So that's the question. That's the question. I think neither one of these guys have any quit in them. So I think one thing I said in my fight prediction is that Herring is going to have to match volume. Because anytime you're dealing with Frampton, you got to deal with it. But he does expose himself way too much. He just needs to keep his hands up higher and keep Frampton on the outside. Absolutely. One of the guys that actually beat Herring was 5'5", a fairly smaller guy, and was able to land big punches on him. And the big thing with Herring is that, I'm a big fan of him, man. My grandfather was a Marine, so you know I'm a big fan. I will always root for Herring, for that reason alone. But I have so much respect for Frampton. I mean, both these guys are just world class guys. And one thing I talk about a lot in my fight prediction for this was that one thing I like that Frampton does is when he's fighting bigger guys is he makes himself smaller. Big punch for Herring is the right hand uppercut. Yeah. Is if you watch the way Frampton kind of makes himself smaller, and he makes himself smaller and then finds ways to shoot in and have success, it's really useful for him against taller guys. The big thing I would say is you have to be careful against, I mean, at this age for both these guys, anything can happen. Anything can happen. And it depends who shows up, you know? Because I could see either one of these guys winning. It's a true 50-50 fight, and that's what makes this fight so fun. By the way, Patrick, thanks for stopping by, brother, and giving your thoughts on this fight. Really appreciate it. You know, I don't care if you're a Frampton fan or you're a Herring fan, whoever you have winning this fight, I can't really argue against you because I could see either one of these guys winning. I mean, it's really hard to sit there and tell you're wrong. I think so and so is gonna win because both guys have oh, you're very welcome, Patrick. I think both these guys have had incredible careers, and even though they're both talking about retirement right now, it's so sad it's sad, but it's kind of like a joyful thing to think about that these guys are actually getting together to fight, which doesn't always happen in boxing. It's going to look like Garcia versus Spence Jr., Frampton being Garcia. He won't look a mug, but Herring has the edge. I mean, the big thing I will mention is that is a possibility. You know? That's for sure. And you know what? Thanks for stopping by and giving your thoughts. I always see you in my comments section, so it's nice to have you in the chat, brother. Always love your feedback in my comment section. You always give really good insight, and I always love seeing your comments. Especially, I notice on like UK fighters, I feel like you have a really good insight on. So thanks for stopping by. Herring does have a good uppercut, but Frampton takes shots after shit like Donaire, yeah, with no problem. Look at Herring's KO percentage; it's pretty low. It is pretty low. I mean, both these guys have pretty low KO percentages. They're not great. They're not true like power punchers. But I think both of them. I mean, at this age, on any given shot, these guys could. Who knows? I think the longer the fight goes, the better the edge for Herring. Yep. Frampton has the edge quickly and cutting the ring off. Yep. Do you know how big the ring is? I do not know off the top of my head how big the ring is. I don't. That's a great question, Patrick. That can play a factor. In fact, to your point, actually, when AJ and Ruiz had their rematch, I believe it was a 22-foot ring, which is not like the biggest size, which I believe the biggest is like a 24-footer, but it's a larger size, and it allowed him to move better. And for AJ, so that can play a factor. The big thing I would say is Herring needs to fight this fight similar to how Leo Santa Cruz did in the second fight against Frampton. You need to win these close exchanges. You're going to get in phone booth situations, and when you have a longer reach, that means that it's going to take a longer time for your arms to hit your opponent compared to Frampton. And you need to be able to win those exchanges through countering, through timing, and that's going to be a huge factor in this fight. Timing and countering and fighting in a phone booth and getting the best of these exchanges is what's going to decide this fight. If Frampton, and I talked about this in my review, if you guys didn't see my actual review, for this fight, the thing that makes Frampton such a special fighter is that he does an incredible job of countering. He needs to keep him at bay, the jab, and mostly importantly, punch in the boxing. Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, like, during my prediction for this fight, I said this. What makes Frampton special and what makes him such a good fighter is that when you have these exchanges, he wins the exchanges. He counters you. He hits you when you're not expecting. And in the end, you don't want to engage with him because he keeps winning the engagements. And if that's the case, if that keeps happening with Herring, even though Herring's a tough dude, man, and mentally very strong, he will lose this fight because he will try to either change his game plan. Hopefully he'll try to change his game plan, but I don't know if that's enough. And if he doesn't do it soon enough and adapt soon enough, Frampton's going to have enough points and enough rounds in the bank to win this fight. So, I mean, it could go that way. I could also see, Herring finding success and using the jab, moving well. And if he digs the body well, slowing down Frampton, who's an old, both these guys are older, and just finding those straight shots landing for him, especially with that left hand. That left hand of Herring is very sharp. Neither one of these guys wastes a ton of energy, but Herring, I feel like Herring definitely doesn't waste any energy. I don't care who wins, but Frampton has a huge, the reach advantage for Herring in this fight is crazy. Frampton has faster hands, shorter arms, I think a better chin. Up close, he's more dangerous. That's the thing. If Herring gets smothered in this fight, which I expect, if you think Frampton's not going to be able to get on the inside, he's going to at some point. He has a huge reach advantage. I talked about that. I believe it was, it depends what source you use. I think BoxRec said 7 inches, but I could be wrong on that, Patrick. It is a very big reach advantage. It's a 5-inch height advantage alone. And then reach, I think it's pretty close to double digits, if not double digits. So that's a big difference. The big thing is Frampton, I feel like, has faster feet, faster hands. He can get inside. The big thing is Herring has to stay off the ropes. If Herring gets on the ropes, he's going to have a problem. Yeah, it is crazy, man. It is crazy. And if Herring can't keep off the ropes, he's going to have major issues. Because the thing that I like about Frampton, man, is he's willing to do the dirty work, which not all boxers want to do. He's willing to go there and do the dirty work, man. Like, so, yeah, yeah, pretty much. My favorite example would be like Rocky Fielding versus Canelo. Rocky Fielding, when you saw Rocky Fielding stand side by side with Canelo, it was like the height difference was massive. But it was just like, now maybe it's not the greatest example because obviously I'm not going to say Frampton is Rocky or Herring is Rocky Fielding. But, you see the height difference and you're like, how? And then, or even Callum Smith, the way Callum Smith looked next to Canelo was crazy. Made in Belfast. We got different blood. I don't know if you were in the chat when I was talking about this. I had someone point out to me about, Frampton being from Belfast. And he said, everyone always talks about the fact that Herring's was a former Marine. Of course, once a Marine, always a Marine. And he's been to war. And, someone pointed out to me that, Frampton grew up in Belfast, and when he was growing up, it was like a war zone. So, both these guys have seen some stuff. Both these guys have lived in crazy, crazy different kind of, environments. Would you like for the Alvarez fight coming up? I like Canelo very much to beat Saunders. We talked about that a little bit earlier in the stream, but just to sum it up for you really quick, Patrick, I like Billy Joe Saunders. I like him as a person. I think he's hilarious. I think he's a really slick fighter. I like him better at 160 than 168. Plain and simple. At 160, he was a slicker fighter, faster fighter, and he hasn't impressed me lately. He hasn't impressed me. He doesn't have the power to keep Canelo off of him, and if you can't keep Canelo off of you, he's going to go to the body. He's going to dig to the body, and he's going to find a way to win. And I think that Billy Joe can have a little bit of success, but I don't think he can have 12 rounds of success. Carl went to school with him, and he lived in the same area of myself. D, that's very cool. Very cool. Look, just to be fully transparent, I predicted Frampton to barely win this, but I'm going to be probably rooting for Herring. Sorry. They're talking about the winner fighting Valdez. After that, what Valdez did to Burchelt, I think he beats both of them on the same night. That is, Jay, I mean, Valdez looked phenomenal. By the way, thank you guys for all stopping by. DJ, Patrick, all you guys for stopping by. Really appreciate it. I might give them a problem because he is a lefty. That's true. That is true. Just thinking it'll be underwhelming for Irish fans not to be able to, be there with Carl. Oh, yeah, I was talking about that. But you Yanks usually prefer the big crowd, so that might affect Herring. Well, thank you, D, very much. Actually, I was talking about that earlier in the stream, that this fight should be in the UK, if not in Ireland right now, man. I mean, both these guys deserve big, loud crowds. By the way, guys, we do this every Saturday. We do either a UFC or usually a boxing stream every single Saturday. So if you aren't sub, because we love to have you guys come back and chit chat about this stuff. I love talking boxing with you guys. It's like having a fight party, a digital fight party with all of you, and it's super fun. I'll say this. I don't know if you guys heard this. I talked about this earlier. Yeah, crowds make these events, absolutely. I said this earlier, and this is something that made me like Frampton so much more. Even I didn't think I could, but I liked him even that much more. Is Jamel Herring's wife tweeted out that during this week, both Frampton and his entire team have been nothing but gentlemen to her. What class, guys! I mean, serious. Both these guys are classy, but fight week, these guys get hyped up. They're in a very different kind of place, getting ready to go to war. And to have, Carl Frampton and his team be that nice to Herring's wife just shows that these guys are true gentlemen and just a class that you don't always see in boxing. So that made me super, I don't know. It put a smile on my face that day. It's like, man, I know Carl Frampton's a good guy, but that's just awesome to hear. It's one of those, feel good moments, right? Yeah, potential underdog. I'll tell you what. If Carl Frampton wins this fight, I'm going to go ballistic in a good way. I'm going to be absolutely super happy for him. And his next fight, they need to find a way to make this happen in the UK. I know you guys are kind of locked down. I don't know what's happening there. In America, we're starting to open up. You guys need to have freaking Carl Frampton fighting live there, man. Because he doesn't have a ton of fights left, and it needs to happen. So it's going down now, guys. Wow, the size difference. Holy shit. I know Carl looks small, but wow. Main event. Oh, man. Super pumped. Super pumped. I just hope that we get a clear winner. Both guys are Class X. Absolutely. We're opening up slowly in the UK. Test crowds and stadiums in the next few weeks. That's excellent to hear, Marv. Okay, so first round, here we go. Obviously, with Herring being a southpaw, I wonder if their feet are going to get tangled or if they're going to step on each other's toes a little bit. Right now, both guys just feeling it out. Herring trying to use that reach and use that jab. Right now, Herring trying to use that straight left. Nothing yet. using the right hand just to kind of feel things and keep Carl Frampton at bay. Frampton doing a nice job moving his head, by the way. Looking very sharp right now with that head movement, which is smart. Making himself a smaller target. So right now we have Frampton kind of circling and Herring just trying to find a way to keep Frampton out. Trying to use that check left, or check right, sorry, to keep Frampton honest right now. And it looks, so far, I mean, both guys just kind of feeling things out. Nothing too much. Oh, now they're getting into it a little bit. Frampton found a way in through a good right hand to the body, it looks like, of Herring. Herring right now, lands a nice straight left on Carl Frampton. That head movement, it's got to be consistent from Carl. Carl dipping down, making himself small, trying to be explosive. Herring, I would say right now, it looks like Herring's a little bit slower foot-wise, but hand speed below the belt right there from Herring. Both guys handling it well, though. Touching gloves, getting back at it, going back to work. Right now, Frampton kind of using that lead left to kind of feel things out, make sure to get that gauge. Throws a nice straight right to the body of Herring. Herring throwing a nice straight right hand jab. Now they kind of get into it in the mix. Now they're just kind of clutching and kind of doing a little inside work. Nothing really happening here. Frampton trying to do work on the inside. And Frampton kind of pushing himself up against Herring right now, trying to make sure that Herring feels uncomfortable. Clearly, you can see Carl Frampton pawing at Herring, trying to make sure to keep that right hand at bay, as well as keep track of it. Herring right now feeling very comfortable, doubling up on the jab. I like that from Herring. He should do more of that, trying to also use that to push off on Carl. Right now, Herring trying to use that jab. I would like to see him double, triple that up a little bit more. Not the best round. A little slow for the first round. I think probably for the first one, it would probably go to Herring. Just barely. Just barely. I think Carl found a good way. Glad the ref let him box on the inside there. Never forget that crappy ref in the Hatton Mayweather fight. Herring probably nicked the first round. I agree, man. I agree. I think Herring just barely. But I saw some flashes from Frampton that made me excited to see what he can do. The big thing is who can go through the gears faster and make adjustments. I think Frampton found a little bit of success, and if he can capitalize on it a little bit more, could be a very good thing for him right now. Herring needs to double up, triple up that jab for sure. Let's see how they go round two. Round two starts right now. Both guys kind of still kind of pawing at each other. Herring kind of using that jab right now just to keep Carl at bay. Carl doing his kind of that signature kind of pawing right now. A little slip right there, a little push down from Herring. Herring right now trying to keep center of the ring. Obviously wants to stay off the ropes. Oh, lands a really nice check right on on Frampton right there. Frampton kind of reacted a little bit, kind of like, you got me on that one. Herring right now doing a nice job, staying long, staying big. Lands a nice straight left, and then tries to land a check right hook. Frampton also tries to land his own check left on him. Right now, both guys just trying to circle, try to find their spots. Obviously, Frampton trying to find a way in so he can do that work. And, nice head movement from Frampton right now. Looking very good right there. Looking pretty slick. And he lands a nice right hand on Herring. Lovely head movement. Yeah, yeah. He does have to find openings. Great head movement so far. Carl Frampton doing a nice job about dealing with that reach. Herring trying to go to the body, which I like. Oh, and he kind of barely lands a straight left hand on Carl. Carl looking unfazed by it, though. Frampton is trying to find his way in, tries to get in, and then Herring doing a smart job tying him up when he does get in and kind of lunges in. Smart move. Ref allowing them to do some inside fighting, which I like. Splits it up. Smart. Here we go. Right now, Herring trying to stay long, trying to stay in the middle of the ring, try to keep off those ropes. Carl Frampton trying to be explosive and get inside, and then he tries to get inside again, and Herring ties him up. Smart move by Herring. Herring staying long again, trying to throw that jab out there and then throw a quick left. Both guys clearly trying to find success in their own way. Oh, and Carl landing a nice straight right hand to the body, and then Herring throwing a nice straight right landing, and now landing a check right hook. And now Frampton getting on the inside a little bit. Herring doing a little bit better work, but Carl Frampton certainly not going away. Herring reminds you of Badu Jack with the output level. Much as Carl makes him miss, he throws so many. Yeah, you have to throw a lot against someone like Carl Frampton. Absolutely. Good round. I think Herring probably took that round, but yet again, it's another one of those rounds where, yeah, Carl is a good body puncher. I think Frampton is investing in the long game as well. He's not going for anything too big. He's not going for home runs. I think he's doing a really smart job. I think Herring's doing a nice job also controlling distance. If Herring cannot keep off the ropes, it's going to be a problem. The big thing is you have to have a fantastic gas tank against a guy like Carl Frampton. He's going to make you work. And he did get inside and land a few good shots. So that's promising. And we've seen Herring, get hurt. I mean, we've seen both guys hurt before, right? So if one guy gets hurt, that could be a huge swing in the fight. Here we go, round 3. So right now, Herring doing a nice job keeping Carl honest with that lead right. Throwing that hook and kind of pushing off with it. Right now, both guys trying to find their way in. Oh, big straight left from Herring on Frampton. Frampton's got to keep that head movement up. Herring feeling pretty confident right now, obviously. Jamel Herring is finding some success early on in this fight, in this third round. Carl, though, doesn't seem, dazed or confused by anything right now. He seems like he's still feeling confident and trying to find his way in. I don't doubt he will. Right now, nice head movement right there. Herring throwing a big left hook. Goes over the top of the head of Frampton. Frampton just trying to deal with that jab right now from Herring. Herring throwing a nice double jab at Carl, constantly trying to control that head movement. Carl getting Herring a little bit up against the ropes, doing a little bit of body work. Herring just pumping that jab out there. And then ties up Frampton when he gets on the inside. Smart move. This comes down to, Carl Frampton having to take one to get one. I think he's game for that. Right now, ooh! Frampton landing with the left hook and then kind of, looks like Herring kind of tripped over his feet a little bit. Carl Frampton trying to press in, and now he's kind of getting into range. Lands a nice body shot, but Herring makes him pay for it with a nice check right hook. Jamel Herring doing a nice job staying at range, but Carl is finding little bits of success here and there in this round. He needs to kind of finish this round strong if he wants to. Nice straight left to the body from Herring. Both guys moving well. Carl trying to get inside, but keeps getting caught with that check right hook from Herring. He just can't get inside to do the work he wants. Keeps trying to go to the body with the straight right. Oh, nice left. Straight left from Frampton. At the end of the round. I don't know if that's going to be enough to give him the round, though. Oh, how do you guys have that round? That one is a tough one to score. Holy cow, is that a tough one to score? I'm leaning a little bit towards Herring in that round, but just barely, maybe. I mean, Carl did some nice work at the end of that round. Right now, I need to see Carl change up the game plan a little bit. I think he has it in him. I know he can change. I know he has the ability to adapt. I want to see that come out of Carl in this round. Obviously, he can't give up too many more. Can't eat too many of those right hooks is right. Needs to push the pace closer. Yep, but 3-0 for Herring for me sounds harsh because there have been close rounds. Absolutely. He has to cut off the ring. Absolutely, Patrick. I agree with both you guys. I think Herring is feeling pretty confident and comfortable right now, and Carl needs to make him uncomfortable. And that right hook coming from Herring is doing a good job right now, keeping Carl in check. He's also holding him on the inside, which is smart. And now Carl Frampton having a nice job with that left hook over the top to hit. The camera guy right now is terrible. Carl Frampton trying to find his way in and then gets inside and Herring just grabs him. There we go. Now Herring's against the ropes. Carl Frampton lands a big shot. And oh, Herring lives a big uppercut. And now they're really going at it. Herring cut, says Marv. And now Carl Frampton going to work, baby, against the ropes. This is what I was hoping to see from him. Big shot from Carl. Carl finding his way now, pushing the bigger fighter, and Herring is very cut, Marv. Good call out, buddy. That's a nasty cut. That's the same cut he had in the last fight he had, and Carl Frampton trying to capitalize by throwing a big left hook. Jamel is clearly going to have some eyesight problems for the rest of this fight. That blood looks like it's going to be going right into his eye. And that's a big problem. Carl Frampton going in with the 1-2, and then Herring coming back with a straight left. Herring going down to the body, trying to keep off Frampton, who clearly feels like he can have some success now. Both these guys showing that they're going up a next level. Herring going to the body. Ref telling him to keep it up a little bit. This is a huge development for Carl Frampton. This is a big round for him. He's doing good work this round. Nice straight right hand from Frampton. Herring clearly is going to have some issues seeing, but he's throwing a lot back at Frampton to try to keep him at bay. So right now, I mean, this is the same cut that Okendo landed on with that headbutt to Herring, and that obviously stopped the fight. Hopefully that's not the case here. Frampton going to the body again, straight right. That's a bad cut is right, Marv. Oh, Frampton now landing with that lead left. Oh, Herring coming back with a 1-2. 3-1 game-changing cut. And the Jackal, oh yeah, update a gears. Right. He certainly did. Yep. I will agree with you guys on that one for sure. I think that Frampton took that round. The Jackal came out, man. He came out swinging, and he came out mean that round. That right there is the Frampton I wanted to see this entire fight. If he came out like that, I mean, that cut is bad. That is a bad cut. And with the way Carl fought that last round, it could end up being something that changes this entire fight. Obviously, in the Okendo fight, it had to be stopped because of an unintentional headbutt. I don't know if this was a headbutt in this case. I think Carl could have landed something with that lead left hand, and that means if that's the case, it's let's see how this all plays out. But this is huge game changer. Huge game changer for Frampton. If he has the motor to keep going in there and trying to push against Herring and continue, Andre Ward has the exact same card we do in terms of scoring right now. Let's see if Frampton can continue to have success. Huge round. Oh, nice straight left from Herring right now. Carl, though, is clearly unfazed, trying to make his way in there, trying to circle. Nice head movement right now. Oh, Herring able to land a good straight left, though. Clearly the power was caused by a punch or headbutt. I don't know, Jay. I think it might have been, I didn't see a headbutt, but it could have been. Right now, Herring having some luck on the inside, throwing uppercuts. With the way they're exchanging on the inside, it could have been a headbutt. But the way Carl's landing that lead left, he just lands a huge lead left hand right now. Clearly that cut is giving issues to Herring. This could be huge, guys. And I like that Carl Frampton now trying to maul Herring against the ropes. This is a big problem right now for Herring. I don't know if Herring can see out of that eye. I don't know if it was a headbutt. Oh! And Herring with a knockdown. Changed this round really quick. Flash knockdown. I don't think Frampton's hurt. I think he was just caught off balance. Holy shit. This fight's fantastic. All right. So, let's see how Frampton adapts and changes if he can. Herring, if he can be on the hunt, is going to be trying to push forward with that bad eye. Herring right now is just throwing, obviously, menacing jabs to keep Frampton at bay. Frampton looks okay, but I don't think he's hurt too bad. Frampton trying to get inside, trying to just bulldoze his way in there. Ooh, Herring getting the better of that exchange on the inside. And with the sweat now, it's making it really hard for Herring to just hold Frampton. He is doing nice work when he's going off the back foot from these engagements on the inside. Excellent work from Herring right now to come back after that last round. Can he keep it up is the question. Frampton clearly trying to get inside, gets checked with that right hand. Right now, Herring finding success. Big lead on the scorecard for H. Yeah. Will the eye hold out? I don't know, brother. That's a great question. I think that's a huge round for him. Herring, man, he's a tough customer. Both these guys. We knew this going into this fight, guys. Both these guys are warriors. Neither one of them is going to back down. Neither one of them is going to quit. Doesn't matter if they get cut. Doesn't matter if they get hit the canvas. We have seen Frampton hit the canvas, come back with a vengeance. So I am not counting him out at all in this fight. This is a huge round, though, for Herring. And, he found a lot of success with that eye. And he found good success in finding ways to engage after they were in the clinch. Yeah, that was a flash knockdown. really solid jab that put him down too. What fight was it with Carl Frampton that he got put down with a jab? Scott Quigg fight? I feel like that happened with him before and he came back. So Herring right now throwing a nice uppercut, left hand to the body. Herring is finding a nice way to kind of deal with the size difference and kind of fighting a little bit smaller, which I thought he might have to. Carl Frampton, though, is finding his way in. That hesitation, Fury, yeah. Boxing, well, must be tiring, and after 10 to 8 rounds, he's going to be feeling urgent. Yep, absolutely. Cannot be hesitant whatsoever. Right now, Herring is finding a way to stay alive right now and keep that eye, obviously, you know, not as a big of an issue as it might be if he was allowing Frampton to get on the inside and land some of those big left hooks. I still think Frampton could have success. Frampton trying to get inside. Trying to make it mean. Oh, big uppercut. It's all, oh my goodness. Huge uppercut from Herring. Holy cow, Carl looks hurt. Carl Frampton gets up like the warrior he is. Holy cow, that was a huge uppercut. Herring is going for it. Carl Frampton looks very hurt right now, guys. Herring just coming in. Frampton throwing some big uppercut, landed again from Herring. Another uppercut from Herring, and he's just mauling the Jackal right now. How is Carl Frampton on his... Oh, the towel came in. Jamel Herring. Patrick, you're right, brother. You called that one. Wow. What a fight. What a fight. Man, oh, man. Von Blue in the house, guys. By the way, if you don't know Von Blue, go check out his boxing channel. Excellent boxing channel. Von Blue. Von, did you predict? I think didn't you predict Herring to win this fight? I didn't think it was going to get stopped like that. Great stream. I'll be back, Marv. Thank you. Marv, thank you very much, brother, for stopping by. Hopefully you subscribed. I loved having you in the chat. You're a fantastic boxing fan, and it was so fun talking with you, man. Absolutely, you're 100% welcome anytime in my chat. Super fun to have you, man. Thank all of you guys for being here. Patrick, all of you guys. Jay, Benzies. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, brother. I see you all the time in my chat, in my comments. I love it. God bless. Good fight call, brother. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much. You did great, bro. Thank you so much. You are absolutely welcome to always come back. Make sure to subscribe. We do this every Saturday. If it's not boxing, we'll do UFC. What a fantastic fight. Thank you guys so much for coming by and hanging out and having this fight party with me here. I feel bad that Frampton lost this way, but at the same time, I mean, Herring is such a lovable guy. Oh, fantastic fight. I mean, Herring just found a way to win and keep long, and the big thing was that uppercut and that check right hook of his did fantastic work this entire fight. He was able to counter with it. He was able to find ways to be successful with it, and especially keep Frampton honest. Oh, that was right. Thank you so much, dude. You comment so much in my videos. I truly appreciate it. You've been around for a while. You've been a sub mine for a while. I love having your feedback. And so thank you so much for supporting the channel. I love being able to chat with especially UK boxing fans, because you guys see stuff and hear news and get different insight, and it's always interesting what you guys have to say. So it's excellent. Oh, man. I'm so happy for Jamel Herring, but at the same time, I'm so sad because I love Carl Frampton, man. what's not to like about Carl Frampton? If you don't like Carl Frampton, there's something wrong with you. One guy has to lose though. So Carl Frampton, I don't know what he's going to do after this. I don't know if he's going to retire. There's a good chance of that. Man, the lighting, because it's during the day, I don't live stream during the day almost ever, so. Man, excellent fight. And still the WBO champion. Great stream, Jay. Herring proved me wrong. Jay, me too, brother. Thank you so much for stopping by the stream, brother. Really fun talking with you, Jay, man. Clearly, you are a hardcore boxing fan, and I love talking to guys like you. It's super fun to chat about stuff and get your guys' perspective on everything. You know, with guys at this age, it's nice to see them have the success and have these moments, because obviously they don't have many of them left. I just wish this is one of the few fights I feel like I wish there could be two winners, because I love both guys so much. Obviously, Shakur Stevenson does not want any part of Herring. I'm sure he'd rather fight Frampton. So I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to pick over Frampton if he's willing to go at it. So with that said, we do this every Saturday, guys. Make sure to stop by, make sure to sub, make sure to, pop in and let me know your thoughts on stuff. And we'll be doing some videos, I think, next week. We'll be probably posting on Monday. That'll probably be Tuesday morning for the UK crowd here. And with that said, thank you guys so much for stopping by the stream. Another great stream, another great fight party with you guys. And with that said, we're going to be ending the stream now. And thank you guys all again for stopping by, talking boxing. And with that said, we'll talk to you later.